Minister, up to 30,000 families have had their lives irreparably damaged by the criminal greed, misconduct, arrogance, brutality of the banks. Anxiety, depression, years lost, houses lost, relationships put under intolerable strain. You can go through the list of the suffering that people have endured. All of this done by incredibly profitable banks with obscenely paid executives getting huge bonuses, in some cases while still in public ownership. And now we get belated apologies, statements, promises. It's too late for that, and anyway, we don't believe them. They can't be trusted to deliver. They've made these promises before, and they haven't delivered. The redress and compensation that may come, will it be adequate? Will it actually redress the losses and the hardship that has been suffered? Will everybody who deserves it get it? And will there be consequences for those that imposed this suffering and committed this crime against these families? And on almost all of those questions, you can say probably not. If all they're going to get is admonition from the Minister. What is necessary is criminal investigation, prosecution and jailing of the people who did this. Nothing less will put manners on these bank robbers. Nothing less will make them believe that they will not be able to get away with this in future. And you see, we know that because this, of course, is not an isolated example. This is part of a long litany of crimes and scandals and misconduct and malpractice by the banks that goes on and on and on. It's happening now in what is as big a scandal is the obscene interest rates being charged to variable mortgage holders. Almost double what's happening in Europe, pure extortion and profiteering. The rotten treatment of distressed mortgage holders and all the suffering that has been imposed on them. What about the payment protection insurance scheme and the mis-selling of that to thousands and thousands of people? And before that, of course, there was the reckless lending to developers and the irresponsible lending which landed people in massive debts, who the banks then moved in on their properties and imposed more suffering on them. All the way back, as Fintan O'Toole pointed out, to the dirt scandal. The culture, toxic, rotten, profit-ridden, and both of the main parties in this country have engendered that. That's the point. You see, when these people wrecked the entire economy, what message was sent from the political establishment? We will bail you out. There will be no consequences for the people that did this, and we will immediately signal to you that as soon as we have made the rest of the country pay for your crimes and bailed you out, we will reprivatise you. And of course, everything they have done to the tracker mortgage holders, to the variable mortgage holders, to all of the victims of the scandals over recent years have been to improve their attractiveness to foreign investors, because you said from the word go you were going to privatise them, and Fianna Fáil agreed with that. Why would they do anything other than what they did, given that that was the message that was sent? So I say, Minister, if you're serious about this, let's see the criminal prosecution and investigations, put caps on the variable interest rates for the other mortgage holders now, close the tax loopholes that allow these banks to pay no tax whatsoever, stop the sale of these banks back to the private market and assert some control over the banks so that they are in public control and begin to serve the public interest and not the greed of their shareholders and their executives.